is a website designer? A website designer is someone who designs and builds a web page. Now, I'd like to extend that definition to include for a purpose. Not all websites have the same purpose, but in general, websites have one or two purposes. The most popular purposes are either A, it is there to sell something, or B, it's there to convert you to inquire about services. So it either sells services or it sells products. So those are two main categories. So a website designer, their purpose is to design and build a website that fits that role, that serves that purpose, either converting customers for purchases of products or inquiring of services. Now, a website designer has a lot of things to consider when they're designing and building a website. Now, some of those aspects, I'll keep this top level, some of those are branding, layout, story, and call to action. These, in my opinion, are very close to what you need in order to serve the purpose of the website. Now, let's talk about branding. This one is quite simple. Branding is about the colors that typically are in the logo, the colors of the company. However, so a logo could have one color or many different colors, but when it comes to the website, it will include more than just the logo colors. Because you also need some alternating colored backgrounds. You may have different shades of different colors from the logo. Then, and then in addition to that, you want your call to action to be a warm color that's the opposite of the primary colors in the logo. So the branding aspect is very, very important to communicate that, hey, this is this company by displaying the logo and reinforcing that with the colors on the page. Now, in addition to that, the next point is the layout. So in the layout and the design, you want to alternate the columns, the number of columns in each row as you go down the page. This kind of just breaks up the layout in general. Typically at the top, everybody expects the logo to be at the top along with some navigation, with or without a call to action button. So this is standard, just like a newspaper has a heading at the top and then it has the content down below. When people look at a website, they expect to see the logo and navigational menu at the top of the page. So there's some parts of the layout that are fairly set in stone. On the mobile, we expect the three little bars on there so that we can access that menu. We know to click to open that to access the menu. Also in the layout, things are based on priority. And if the homepage is connected to your Google Business profile, so it's also your landing page, then you want to make sure that there are reviews to communicate social proof for your business, and that might take priority over some of the other items on your page. So based on whether you're selling products or services, you would prioritize your layout on the page. So understanding what the purpose of the website helps dictate what that priority is. Number 3 is so branding, layout, the story. Now, a lot of people think of the story as the business's story, but that's not necessarily what you want to write about. You want to write a story that's going to communicate to to the visitors of the website that fulfills the purpose. So the story is not about who I am from the business owner of the website. It's not their story. It's the story of the visitor. What problem is the visitor of the website trying to acknowledge, right? And what solution is the business owner going to provide for that problem? So that story is a little bit different, and it's not exactly, but it's absolutely one of the most important parts of the website design. Then the fourth piece, so branding, layout, story, and call to action. The call to action is the most important part, and it's important part throughout the layout. One, that it's consistent, again, as we mentioned in the colors, that it is a warm color or a opposite color of what the rest of the colors, the primary color is on the website. Usually the easiest way to do this is just to take the complementary color of the website, unless it's like a red, unless the primary color is red, and then in which case you will have to pick a different, you want to stay with a warm color, but you wouldn't pick green as the button, so that might be kind of strange. So you want to stick with the warm colors, but usually it's complementary on the website. So the call to action is super important. It also should be placed in multiple times throughout the website. It should be included, prioritized in the layout, repeated in the layout, and it should be consistent throughout the web pages, throughout the entire website. So a website designer is someone who designs and builds a website for a purpose. Now, that purpose oftentimes is just simply conversion. Now, in the old days, so comparatively, a graphic designer traditionally would design something for print, but a web designer would design something that's going to be interactive. It has functionality, it has usability. So now we actually have college degrees, and they call it UX, UI. So that's the user experience, user interface. It's just a fancier term for the same thing that's always been there, which is a website designer. A website designer is very important for being able to pull all those aspects together. If you are trying to build a website on your own, it helps if you understand these components and to be able to provide the right prompt. So remember that a website designer is someone who designs and builds websites to fulfill a purpose. Thanks for watching.